Alright, this is something a bit different for me. I normally kind of do like editor build guides and I follow a script when I'm reading through those. I don't have a script in this one. I've got a Google Doc next to me. It's got some notes. It's got some timestamps of when we're seeing exotics in the Final Shape developer gameplay preview. And yeah, that's what this video is going to be. Kind of like when we see exotics, a bit of speculation, a little bit of theory crafting. If you're wanting to get straight into the breakdown, or you're looking for a specific exotic, just have a look in the description below. There'll be a timestamp. If you're looking for a specific exotic, the ones that I found are Liar's Handshake, Assassin's Cowl, Khepri's Horn, Starry to Scales, Ophidian's, Verity's Brow, Synthoceps, Heart of Inmost Light, Hoarfrost Z, and then like some maybe we saw them on Caliban's hand, the Stag, and then a big maybe on potentially an upgraded version of Bombardiers. Again, there'll be timestamps, click below if you want to like get straight into the breakdown. But two things I have to say before that. One, take everything I'm saying with a massive grain of salt. Bungie has absolutely plastered every bit of footage that they put as in development, subject to change. I could be spewing nonsense when I talk about anything right now because it could just be tweaked or removed or whatever. Again, at the moment, we technically know nothing because everything could be changed. Secondly, I want to get this out of the way because you'll see as we get into the breakdown, there are some like assumptions that I want to make. First one, I feel like exotics that have generic text, like your 6th Coyote, your Armamentarium, your Claws of Ahamkara, it's like extra grenade, extra class ability, extra melee. Those I feel like definitely will be coming in the final shape on the class size. Sorry, can't even speak English. On the class items, just because they transfer so easily. Like they don't break the game, it's like an extra grenade. Like that doesn't do any harm. Where I think we will start to see, I guess changes is the right word, is in exotics that interact with specific abilities. So if you take, for example, Celestial Nighthawk, Caress of the Falling Star, like Ballandors, like they all interact with abilities that Prismatic has, like Celestial, Golden Gun, Caress, Thunder Crash, Ballandors, Winter's Wrath. But like obviously as a hunter, you're not going to want to have Ballandors, and like you can't get Caress because they don't interact with an ability. Which is where I think one of three things is going to happen. One, there are going to be exotics that are class locked, so like Celestial Nighthawk, just for hunters. Or the other thing, they just completely will not be in the game. Like take for example Dawn Chorus. Come here. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Come here. Dawn. Yeah, Dawn Chorus. That is on Daybreak projectiles, like those specifically. And the super that Warlock has is the brand new one, Song of Flame. That exotic literally does not interact with a single part of like the Warlock kit. So like why would they add that is my question. That's like the second fate I think an exotic would have, is that it has like so little interaction with Prismatic that it is not worth having it in the class item loot pool. The third thing that could happen though is that an exotic will be tweaked and changed so much so that it fits in with all classes. If you take Athros's Embrace, for example, they could change that from rapid precision hits, give your weighted throwing knife extra damage, to something like rapid precision hits makes your next powered melee deal increased damage. I only bring that up because there are examples that you will see in the developer gameplay preview where you kind of think like, okay, but how do they make that work for hunters, for warlocks? How do they make that work for titans? Like, how do they bring exotics over? And that is where kind of like one of these three options might be a choice that Bungie has made. But apart from that, and well, having got that out the way, as well as again saying everything with a massive grain of salt, subject to change, let's actually get into the exotics that we saw. And the first one that I want to start with is the Liar's Handshake, because I think this is one of the most telling ones that we see. Like, if you look right here, okay, just note, on combination blow as well,
the new subclass.
Whatever that thing is right there, whatever like he's got on his hand, that is not the Liar's Handshake. We can be fairly sure, because he goes invisible after this, that that is Liar's Handshake and Assassin's Cowl. Also, I'll try and get the number better. 7,490. Okay, remember that, because this is proof that Bungie is okay keeping the damage part of exotic armor that focuses on melee damage increasing stuff. If I just quickly bring up this. So let's get that in. 7,490. This is just to prove that Bungie has actually added the Liar's Handshake damage part of the exotic.
Final shape where you can combine.
See, he then hits here. That there as well, that is the Liar's Handshake animation. Again, not the Liar's Handshake on his hand. We can be fairly sure that this is the exotic class item. There. 35,948. That is a 1 times boosted. Yeah, there we go. 60% increased damage from combination blow. So, times that by 1.6. And then times that by 3, which is doing the damage of... can't even spell that. There we go. Which is the damage, 200% increased melee damage from Liars. Which, if we do that, times by 3, 35,952. 35,948. There's a rounding error, but why this is important is that it is really telling in what Bungie is okay adding to the exotic class item. Just from seeing this gives me way more confidence that Bungie could be adding something like Wormgod Caress to the class item, which would be absolutely huge for any like melee-based class. We could see something like Winter's Guile as well. But Wormgods is the one that I'm really excited about. But this is just an example that they have gone and added the part of the exotic which we actually care about, which is the damage. And for build crafting, I've just got so many ideas knocking around my brain now, because that shows that they are okay being like, right, yeah, we'll give them the full damage of Liar's Handshake, which makes me think when Wormgod Caress comes in, we'll get the full damage from that. Like, genuinely, that makes me so excited that they're not messing with the core of these exotics. Now, we don't know if the healing as well from Liar's Handshake is here, because this guy never takes any damage, and he goes invisible, so he's not targeted. But, the damage is there. That is the part that people care about, and that is really, really good. Also, in this clip, you can see it after he gets the first kill.
In the final shape where you can
That's Liar's Handshake. There's no stylish executioner here, which by the way now procs off of any ability kill. Yeah, there you go. Stylish executioner now triggers by defeating any enemy afflicted by a subclass debuff. That's not what's making him invisible here. You can be fairly confident that this is Assassin's Cowl. And yeah, we've got another example at 906. This is a really good one of where we kind of have to ask, like, okay, how were Hunters and Warlocks going to be using this? If we just come back a tiny bit. Yeah, here we go. That is Assassin's Cowl on Consecration. And I think he'll do it again at some point. But the bit that I'm really interested in is when he uses Khepri's Horn. It should be in just a second. Yeah, there you go. Khepri's Horn. That's another one we can add to the list. But this now begs the question, kind of like, how is this going to be added to a hunter or a warlock? Like in the direction that they dodge, do they send out like a wave of fire? In the direction that they place a rift, do they send out a wave of fire? We don't know. And this is where at the beginning I mentioned kind of like exotics that might be class specific. This interacts specifically with Titan's barrier. Obviously no other class has a barrier, so will other classes be getting this as something they can unlock? We don't know. No one knows. The only people who do know are Bungie themselves, and they're holding these close to their chest. They don't want to kind of give away all the secrets just yet. Okay, and the next one, everyone would have seen this. This isn't exactly like a hidden thing.
Are actually
Here we go.
random rolls.
This is just what the UI looks like with the cloak. And here, this is where we see Spirit of the Star Eater. Again, this is missing text. This is just giving you the damage, not the overshield when at 4 times Feast of Light.
Fun is to chase these birds.
And then on Ophidians, this is also missing text. I think the reload speed is gone, and also the A is gone off of this. But, you know, there's not really too much to break down here. They're like parts of perks, but the parts that you actually really like care about. Oh, this next one is really, really interesting because it shows an interaction in which they have actually changed a part of the exotic.
As special.
Okay.
They have these
Death throws ×2. That is the effect of Verity's brow. But importantly, weapon kills with a matching subclass element. So this is an example of an exotic, like what I mentioned in the beginning, like the third one, where they have changed it. So it either this is that Prismatic is counting as every subclass, or they have changed Verity's brow to read as something like weapon kills give you a stack of death throws instead of like matching weapon kills with your subclass. Which is interesting because it shows that they're willing to go in and tweak stuff to make it work in Prismatic. A bit like what they've done with some of the aspects to make them more flexible. It looks like they've done that with some exotics as well. This being the prime example of that. We don't know kind of to like what extent this is coming. It's like is like the teammate part, like the feel the flame bit, where your teammates get grenade regen. We don't know if that's coming. We just don't have enough footage. This is like a couple seconds clip of just the buff being there. Another one that we have is, I think, yeah, here we go, which is Synthoceps. Everyone saw this. There you go. Spirit of the Assassin's
I managed
Cowl.
to get
Spirit of Synthoceps. This is just the melee damage when you're surrounded. This is missing text as well.
for my
Oh, but this bit is really important. I'm going to turn him up a bit, so just listen to what he says here.
slow him down, blow him up, hunter build, a roll on the exotic cloak that made it so powered melee kills caused enemies to ignite, and also I could get an extra dodge charge, so I could do an extra slow charge on enemies at the same time. We want to
That right there. That powered melee final blows, I think that is either a new exotic or that is going to be the effect of Caliban's. With Caliban's hand causing ignitions on final blows. Again, another exotic where they've tweaked it, where it reads proximity, explosive kills cause an ignition. I think they've probably changed this to powered melee final blows cause an ignition. And also, if you come back to this and you have a look here, it's kind of difficult to tell.
get an extra dodge charge.
But this isn't applying any of the Scorch that base Caliban's reads. Like proximity, explosive, knife applies Scorch on detonation. It looks like they've cut that. Again, an example of another exotic that they have changed to kind of fit more with the theme of Prismatic. Like, why would this threaded spike be causing Scorch? Makes no sense. Another one that we see is Heart of Inmost Light at 1140.
what becomes the meta.
Here we go. Yeah, empowered abilities. And this is also 6th Coyote down here. You can see two class abilities here. We don't know with Heart of Inmost like how much of the exotic is going to be here. We can see that it's obviously doing the empowered abilities, but we don't know if we are getting both the increased damage as well as the increased regen. We don't know. It's too short of a clip to really kind of... Sorry, I probably just blew your ears out. I forgot to turn that down. Yeah, we don't see that. We just see empowered abilities ×2. So, yeah, I mean, we don't know. We'll only know until this is obviously released to the game. Now, this one, this is where we get into like the maybe territory of like, is the exotic there? And this one is going to
Embodiment of the witnessing these new enemies.
The Stag. All right, here you go. You got to catch the first frame just to see.
It's like the embodiment of the witnessing these new
Sorry.
enemies.
All right, there you go. This helmet right here, that is not the Stag. That is no ornament of the Stag. In fact, I'm fairly sure that that is actually the key art. Yeah, it looks like the key art helmet that Warlocks have going into the final shape. And you can see, I'm fairly sure that's the exotic class item. It's got that, like, I'm pretty sure that's it. And as you can see, no damage resist. And as he puts the healing rift down, resist ×2. Which is exactly the effect that the Stag has. 25% damage resist. Again, this brings up the question, how are Warlocks, how are Hunters and how are Titans going to use this? If Hunters can get damage resist on dodging, I am going to be so scared of them in PvP. That sounds like it sucks. So again, one of those options I mentioned before, this could be Warlock specific, but how are they going to do it? Again, just another exotic that you now know is there. This is the last one right here. He's about to use his class ability, and you see Dragon's Lash going off, Khepri's Horn going off, which is the fire. That is Hoarfrost. The little Stasis Ice Wall, that is absolutely, yeah, Stasis Crystal Wall. The middle crystal is a small crystal. Like, yeah, that is what it is. So we can be fairly sure, again, at the time they recorded this, that they were okay having that. Again, how the hell do Warlocks and Hunters use this? It's like, we don't know yet. You know, we can only speculate and guess. This could be another class-specific one. One that we really, or at least I really don't know, but one that's probably the most interesting thing that I managed to pick out, is that there is... I mentioned in the beginning where Bombardiers, where there could be a version of Bombardiers. This is it. Now, obviously, Bombardiers is a Hunter exclusive exotic at the moment, but they might be bringing it to other classes. Thing is, I don't know. Just have a look. Okay, you can see it's a Titan. He uses Thruster right there. And then you see this little like grenade icon. And then that, oh no, I went just past it. Sorry, 1 second. Again, small grenade icon. There. Whatever that thing is, this is either a brand new ability, or this could be Bungie going in and tweaking Bombardiers to make it so that it now drops this like suspending blast. This could again, this is all speculation. I know none of this, but this could maybe be a like Warlock and Titan thing, where because they've got longer cooldowns on their class abilities, they get like an improved version, which is what you'll be seeing here. The other version of this, I think, is here. Yeah, okay. So you see again,
of strand.
uses the class ability there, and then drops that like bomb thing. It kind of looks like a tangle actually,
And it's
which explodes
so satisfying to see
and suspends, which it did to the ogre in the first clip as
how
well.
fast you move.
That could be Bombardiers. Again, it's on using their class ability, which is why I'm maybe thinking that. But then again, it's all speculation. Everything, everything so far has been speculation. We know none of this because it all could be changed. But that's everything. Those are all the exotics I can find from this. I don't know if this is going to flow well, just because I normally do this with a script. So we'll see how it goes. I might do more of these because I haven't done like ability breakdowns of what we saw. It's like we saw frost armor in the trailer. We kept on seeing something called facet of command, which isn't one of the aspects that they revealed so far. So yeah, I might do similar style one of those. But anyway, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed. See ya.